Hey, kia ora. Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're all having a super fantastic, sparkling day. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1273. Tonight, we're going to talk about how to stay healthy on a cruise. How to stay healthy on a cruise. Oh, I missed a word out of there. I have to go back later and fix that one. Maybe I'll just leave it as it is. See how many other people notice it. Anyway, how to stay healthy on a cruise. And I've been looking through some old blogs and newsletters that I did like 12 years ago. And it's quite interesting things that I wrote about back then. And I thought, some of this stuff is still relevant today. Some of it just needs a little tweak here and there to bring it up to date, and we're good to go. So how do you stay healthy on a cruise? Here is a fact for you. Most cruises, when you're on a cruise, most people will put on 1 to 2 pounds per day on the cruise. Think about that. Most cruises will put on 1 to 2 pounds per day on the cruise. So if you're on a 7-night cruise, you're talking 7 to 14 pounds that you could potentially put on while on a cruise. Now, I am one of those who actually release weight while I'm on a cruise. Because I make wise choices. Yes, I still have my desserts, but I'm very heavy into eating protein. Not keto, more on the paleo side of things, but I'm very heavy on protein because my body processes protein very well, carbs not so much. But my fruits and vegetables are in there. And I also walk a lot when I'm on a cruise. I actually take a pedometer with me and make sure I get a minimum of 10,000 steps a day. There has been cruises I've been on when I've gone to my cabin at night, 11 o'clock at night, and looked at my thing, got 9,000 and something steps. It's like, okay, put my walking shoes on, up to the jogging/walking track, and I just start walking around until I hit that 10,000 mark. And then, of course, got to walk all the way back down to the cabin. So I end up doing more than 10,000. But that's just my goal when I'm on a cruise ship, because to get anywhere on the cruise ship, you have to walk. And it depends on the size ship that you're on as to how far you can walk as well. And when you're on the walking/jogging track, somewhere along the route, when you're doing the laps, there will be a plaque that says this many laps equals 1 mile. So that will give you some idea as well, as to how often you've got to go around. And usually they're up near the top of the ship. And first thing in the morning, it can be quite cold up there. I know that when I go walking on ships, it doesn't matter where I am. There's always a good breeze up there in the mornings. And sometimes you're walking into the wind. One part of the lap you're walking into the wind, the other part of the lap, the wind's behind you. But I always make sure I have a hat with me that covers my ears, because if you've known me watching me long enough, you know that I get ear infections like crazy, especially on windy days. And so I always wear a hat that covers my ears so that I can do my walking in comfort and not have to worry about the cold wind. And I have a light windbreaker on as well. So that's one way that you can stay healthy. Most of the big cruise lines will also have a fitness center on board. Some of them will have a very well-equipped fitness center. If you want to see a version of one of these well-equipped fitness centers, just go to my YouTube channel, and on there underneath, what's it underneath? Most viewed, I think it is. The very first video on there is of the fitness center on Freedom of the Seas. And that video was taken probably about I think it was 2012 we took that one. December 2012 is when I did that video. But it's still pretty relevant today. It had a boxing ring in it. It had Pilates reformers in there. It had all the weight machines in there. It had free weights. They did spin classes. They had stair climbers. They had treadmills. And the cool part about the stair climbers and the treadmills, they're all in front of a window. So you're looking out at and yes, you've got a little TV screen there if you want to watch the TV, but you can look over that, and there's just, especially if you're at sea, there's just gorgeous ocean for as far as you can see with these floor-to-ceiling windows. So you get a really good view while you're working out as well. That one had a boxing ring on it. It had the boxing bags up as well. I got some kickboxing in one time when I was there. It was awesome. That's the only time that one and only day I used the gym on that cruise. But you got the fitness center there. They have personal trainers there. They do yoga classes. They do Pilates classes. They do spin classes, aerobic classes. There's all sorts of stuff. There's all sorts of classes and things that you can do on board a cruise ship. They have a lot of different activities. They have a sports court. Most of them have sports courts where there's basketball courts. They may have table tennis there. What else would they have on board? There's rock climbing on some ships. They do rock climbing there. You also have on some of the Royal Caribbean ships, you have the Flow Rider, which is simulated surfing, which is kind of cool to go. I will tell you this. It is a great thing to go watch. I have not tried it. I don't even want to attempt it because I know I would probably never get on my knees. That thing would whip out from underneath me. That boogie board or the surfboard would whip out from underneath me and I would be a hot mess. But it is a very entertaining thing to sit and watch. But there's lots of, and of course, anywhere you go on the ship, you're going to be walking. If you are midship, you can either walk to the stern of the ship or you can walk to the bow of the ship just to get to wherever it is you need to go. You can walk between the deck levels. My rule is if I'm going 2 to 3 deck levels up or down, I walk. Anything more than that, like if I'm going 4 or more, I'm on the elevator. It's just that simple for me. Sometimes you might have, you may even prefer the cabins and staterooms and suites that are at the back of the ship that just have the view out over the back of the ship. So you've got to walk basically the entire length of the ship to go to something like the main theater because it's usually in the bow of the ship. The restaurants usually around midship to the stern of the ship, so you don't have far to go for dinner. But anywhere you go within the ship, you're going to be walking. And you'll get a lot of walking in there. So there's all sorts of things that you can do to stay healthy while on the ship. Now, so, you can, walk the fitness centers, all of that sort of stuff. Some of them too some ships have an area where near the spa, they have healthier food choices and a smoothie bar or a juice bar, something like that. And then, of course, you've got all these packages that you can get to make it a little more inclusive for you. So at the end of your cruise, you don't feel like you've been nickel and dime. Some of them have beverage packages, which can be anywhere from $60 to $80 per person per day based on the type of drinks that you're ordering. If you don't drink like me, I don't drink. So I get like the non-alcoholic package, which is anywhere from $25 to $40 per person per day, depending which cruise line you're on and to what it includes. I'm going on a Princess cruise in less than a month. In fact, 3 weeks, I think it is. I think it's 3 weeks to the cruise. 3 or 4 weeks. 3 weeks. 3 weeks. Yeah, about 3 weeks. So I've got so I'm going on Princess. So I'm going to give you just an example of how good some of these deals are. And then it's all about making healthy choices as well. Now, Princess has 3 cruise packages. There's just the standard, doesn't cost you anything. It's just your standard medallion class experience with standard dining, accommodations, and entertainment. Then you have the Princess Plus, which is $60 per guest per day. It gives you the same as the Princess Standard, plus a beverage package with drinks up to $15 each. And we're talking the alcoholic beverage package. And you're probably going, but I don't drink. But wait, just wait. It has Wi-Fi on there for 1 device per guest. Your crew appreciation, which your gratuities are included. 2 premium desserts per day. And I'm actually going on a group cruise, which is we're having to book through another travel professional. So I said to her, oh, that's the premium desserts. And apparently they have these different ice cream places on board Princess. And I'm like, ice cream? I'm in. And there's specialty ice cream places, which you pay extra for. So you get 2 premium desserts per day, per person, 2 fitness classes per cruise, and an unlimited juice bar. And that's $60 per guest per day. But wait. Then you have the Princess Premier, which gives you the Premier beverage package, which is drinks up to $20 each, Wi-Fi for up to 4 devices per guest. And I'm like, I definitely need that. Again, your crew appreciation. You get 2 specialty dining meals per guest, a photo package, which is unlimited digital plus 3 prints. Princess prizes, no idea what they are, but that's good. Unlimited premium desserts, unlimited fitness classes, unlimited juice bar. You get a new medallion accessory, not sure what it is. We'll have to wait and find out. and you get reserved theatre seating for production shows only. And that is $80 per guest per day. So that's only another $20 more per person. Now, you're probably thinking, is that really a good deal? Well, they say with the Princess Plus, you save 54%. And on the Princess Premier, you save 66%. Now, here's what I did to see, is it worth doing? Because we included in our group was already the Princess Plus. Is it worth upgrading for $20 a day to the Princess Premier? So I went and had a look and started pricing things. And I thought, okay, specialty dining restaurant. That will range anywhere based on the restaurant you go to from, I think it's like $18 to $30 per person to go to a specialty dining restaurant. So since a couple of them are around the $29, we're saying $30. Okay, so that's your $80 per person per guest. Hang on. Yeah, $80 per guest per day. So you take off 2 specialty dining meals at $30 per person. There's $60 off. So now you got $20 left. See? Now I'm going to be doing up to 4 devices, probably 2 to 3 devices I'm going to be hooking up on their Wi-Fi. Well, their Wi-Fi a la carte is around $12.95 per device per day. So if I'm doing 2, that's 25, about $26 to do 2 devices. What am I up to now? $86 because we've got the 2 specialty meals at $30 each, plus the $26 for the 2 devices. Probably there might be 3, so then you're going to be looking at a little more for that. The Premier Beverage Package, to me, it doesn't matter because they have the 0 alcohol drink package, which includes specialty coffees, teas, fountain sodas, fresh juices, healthy smoothies at the juice bar, hot chocolate, 0 proof mocktails, bottled water, San Pellegrino, Evian, and Red Bull energy drinks. And that's $40 per person per day. So remember we're talking, so we've got the 2 specialty at $60. We've got the Wi-Fi at around $25. What are we up to? $85. Plus add on $40 for the day. What am I up to now? $125? Is that right? $125? And that's just with 3 out of the things that's on there. You got the photo package. I have no idea how much that is worth, but I know it can cost. There's also the Premier desserts. I don't know about what their prices are. But just on those 3 things. So 2 specialty dining meals, $30 per meal. So that's $60 for 2 of those. The Wi-Fi, I think it's $12.95. We'll say $13. That's $26 plus, probably going to do another one. So that's $39. So I'm up to $60 plus $39, $99, plus the non-alcoholic beverage package at $40. So I'm up to like $130 now. And I haven't even added on there the gratuities, which are included, the photo package, which is included, the Premier desserts, the fitness classes, the unlimited juice bar. So you are saving a bit. Now, here's the interesting thing. The Premier beverage package by itself, the Premier beverage package by itself, which is up to $20 per person, up to top shelf premium beverages up to $20 a drink. Are you ready for this? So the Premier pack, the Princess, what's it called again? The Princess Premier, which is $80 per person per day, includes the Premier beverage package. If you do just the Premier beverage package by itself, it's $85 per person per day. You're already saving $5 by doing the Princess Premier and getting all that other extra stuff. So if you're somebody who likes to indulge in your alcohol and you like the top shelf, then they're talking top shelf spirits, reserve wines by the glass, the new high-end crafted cocktails by mixologist Rob Floyd, selection of 75 plus spirits, 40 plus wines by the glass, 20 plus high-end crafted cocktails, Premier wines by the glass, including Duckhorn, Stag's Leap, something kills, I don't know how to even say that one, Cadia Champagne, private Woodford Reserve bourbon selection created exclusively for Princess, personalized Jack Daniel's whiskey single barrel select, 25% off wine bottles, including rare vintages, 25% off large bottles of water and cans of soda. So that doesn't include... Okay. So even then you're saving things. So look for deals like that that can help save you money. But you can, because it's got the unlimited fitness classes in there, if you're somebody who loves to do fitness and do classes and stuff, you have the option of being able to do those fitness classes, those extra fitness classes that would normally cost you. They're included if you do the Princess Premier. Other ways that you can stay healthy is watching what you eat when you're in the menus. Yes, it's great to get given those menus and you can choose whatever you want off the menus and things, but do it wisely. Now, here's another cool tip. If you have a food allergy, like if you eat a gluten-free menu, a lactose-free menu, you're vegan, vegetarian, some ships will do kosher. What other ones am I trying to think of? If you have a nut allergy, peanuts or tree nuts, they actually have gluten-free. Did I say gluten-free? Gluten-free as well. So you can actually let them know that you have these food allergies. Now, I have a food allergy to onions. So what they do, now most of their menus will come and it will have the little symbols next to them to state this dish is gluten-free. This one is dairy-free. This one is, what am I thinking of? This one is nut-free. So they might have little symbols next to on the standard menu. Now, because I have an onion allergy, and a lot of foods come with onions, like especially your soups and their bases and things, or gravies, they actually come to the table. The maitre d' will come to the table the night before. So, when I first get on the ship on the first day, I go down to the restaurant. I identify who I am, what my allergy is. It's already in the system. They give me the menu for that evening and tell me which menu items I can choose from, because some cannot be made that close to dining time. And so I select my menu. So when I get to there, I tell them who I am. When I get to the table, I tell them who I am, tell them my order has already been placed, and they can look it up in the system and see from my medallion, it'll be on this one, that it is registered that I have an allergy to onions. And this is my menu. So close to the end of the meal that evening, the maitre d' will come over with the menu for the following evening. And this is where it gets real fun, because I can sit there and I can choose anything on the menu and they will make it without onions for me. But here's the interesting thing. The other people at the table go, what do you got? And I go, tomorrow night's menu. Oh, what's on the menu for tomorrow night? So they're already planning in their head, am I going to go to a specialty restaurant tomorrow night, or am I going to come down here and eat? So my table mates will kind of get a sneak peek as to what's coming up. Like if it's steak and lobster evening, I can turn and say, oh, they're doing steak and lobster tomorrow night. And everyone's like, oh, I'm not going to we're not going to the specialty restaurant tomorrow night. No, we'll do a different night. So it's kind of fun when you can look through the menu and see what's already on there, and you can make your decisions based on your dietary requirements, and it's all pre-ordered and everything else. So I know the following evening when I get the food, it's going to be completely free of onions, and they are really good. Now, here's the other thing. If you are going to do a specialty restaurant, you want to give them at least 48 hours notice. So if you have food allergies. So I will not be doing a specialty restaurant well, I can kind of do that, because they just tell me what comes with onions in it and what doesn't. And, I'm on a very limited menu. But if I'm going to be going to a specialty restaurant, say like night 3 or even night 2, I will go to that specialty restaurant and talk to the maitre d' of that restaurant, and they will show me the menu. And if it's less than 48 hours, they will give me, again, limited menu options as to what I can have that they can make in that short amount of time. But usually they like at least 48 hours notice. 24 is okay, but 48 hours is the preferred. So, which is kind of cool. And then and with specialty dining too, you can choose your dining time. So if you're somebody who likes to eat early, you can choose an early dining time. And that's another thing too, is that when you are booking your cruise professional will ask, do you want to eat early, and give you the times, because times vary based on the cruise line. There's like 5:30 starts, 6 o'clock starts, 6:30 p.m. starts. And then there's the later dining, which starts at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30. And you can keep within your normal eating times, and which is kind of cool as well. Then you have on the restaurant and Norwegian is completely, you don't book a time, you just show up. And if there's tables available, they'll seat you, or they'll tell you how long till a table is available. When Brad and I would sail Norwegian, we would tell them that we don't mind being seated with other people. So they might sit us at a table for 10 people and bring other people in to join us. Or they may sit us at one night they set us at a 2-person table, but we were a row of 2 people tables. So there's there's enough room between each table to squeeze between the tables. And we were able to easily converse with the people on either side of us at their tables. And so you kind of have a group sitting, but you're at your own table. So you can also do, you can select anytime dining. Each cruise line has their own name for it, but basically they have an area of the restaurant that you go to this particular one. You can show up at any time, and they will seat you at a table, and you can specify whether you want to share a table or you don't want to share a table. They kind of like you booking a time in anyway, even though they say you can come whenever you like. And some people will. They will say, well, I happen to like that particular waiter, so I want to be at their table every night, and I want to come in at this time. They will note it on the thing. So some of them you can go and book in advance what time you're going to do dinner that evening. And it's based on, you may have been in port all day, and the ship's not sailing till like 6 o'clock at night. Well, you don't want to run back because you have a 6 o'clock dining time. You don't want to really race back and try and get changed and all that. So, but even those nights, you might choose to go to a specialty restaurant that evening, or go to go to the buffet or one of the cafeterias, because there's always other eating places that are open, or go out by the pool, usually out by the pool where they've got pizza and burgers and hot dogs and fries, and somewhere out by the pool area there will be something like that. So you can go and choose that just to have that evening as well. Some cruise lines still have room service. Some of them charge for it after a certain time. And so there's a lot of stuff that's changing on how it used to be on a cruise ship. Like if you're doing breakfast in the morning, you may get charged for it, you may not get charged for it. It depends what cruise line you're on. So keep that in mind, is that things are changing on cruise ships, even now. So, but you can make healthy choices on the meals and stuff. And, if you're somebody who counts your calories, that could be a little challenge on a cruise ship. But if you've been doing it for so long, you kind of know what the calorie count's going to be for a particular dish anyway, for the average dish. I always take the last few cruises I've been on, I've taken my canister of protein powder with me, so I could have a protein shake once a day. But then when I got on one cruise line, I think it was Celebrity, because I had the non-drinks package on Celebrity, it included the smoothies. So I was able to go over there and have them make me fruit and vegetable smoothies with protein powder added into it, like plant-based protein powder as well, which was kind of cool because I don't do the whey protein powder. I do the plant-based protein powder. So I was able to get my protein shakes in that way. But if I was in my cabin and I just sort of like wanted to, had the munchies or something, I'd just go make a protein shake in my cabin, and it was good to go. Because if I didn't feel like, oh, I've got to go down there, I've got to walk this far, I've got to walk that far, but yeah, you can make the cruise as active as you want it to be, or as inactive as you want it to be. It depends if you want to maintain your weight, release weight, or put 1 to 2 pounds on per day. Now, I have been on cruises where I have gained 1 to 2 pounds for the entire cruise. That was a good win. And I came off one cruise where I had released 14 pounds. And I was like, awesome. And that was just making wise choices. You have the menus in front of you. And one of my favorite things is poached eggs. And I would have poached eggs every morning. And, a lot of protein in there. I like my poached eggs. What can I say? And I would go up and one thing I liked about cruise ships, I don't know if they still do this because everything has changed since they started cruising again. There's done a lot of changes and things like that. But one of the things I used to like was it Celebrity Solstice when we were sailing Alaska. I went in there and they actually had an English breakfast buffet station. And you go there, there'll be baked beans, there'll be black pudding, there would be the full-size bacon, not this little skinny rasher that the Americans have. It was a full-size thing. Yeah. Some people know, they would have the real sausage links. They would have, or just stuff that I just absolutely love on a full breakfast. British style. And I was like, this is awesome. I get to have black pudding, and I get to have full slices of bacon, not just a rasher. What else did they have in there? Oh, and they also had British marmalade too. And British marmalade is very different from American marmalade because it doesn't have as much sugar. So it has a bit of a bite, bitter taste to it, a bit of a bite, which is good because it's a way to exercise your saliva glands. Is to give them a shock of something sour or bitter so that it activates your saliva glands. It's one of the exercises you should do with your saliva glands every day. Because did you know that if you get a blockage in your saliva gland or an infection in there, it can actually be deadly, can be fatal. I found that out the hard way. Not the hard way. I didn't die, but I got to the doctors in enough time that they were able to get me on the antibiotics that I needed to reduce the swelling and get rid of the infection that was in my saliva glands. But since then, it's every day have something bitter or sour that will activate the saliva glands. And then you massage down in here because you've got saliva glands down here. You massage up here. It's all around here. What was the other one I had to do? I can never remember the third one, and I haven't done that for a while, but I've always done the other two. So, when you're on a cruise ship, there's no reason, if you're somebody who is active and you go to the gym every day, you can still keep that up. You can keep up a workout routine while on a cruise ship. It may be a modified routine based on the equipment they have available, or it could be a full-on workout based on the type of fitness center that they have on board the ship. And the fitness centers are open 24/7. So if you get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, you want to go do a workout, go do a workout. Most fitness centers on board a ship are open 24/7. Better verify that. But there's all sorts of different activities. Like I said, you've got the sports court up there. There's on some cruise lines, you can go ice skating. You've got the flow riders on some ships. You've got rock climbing walls. There's the jogging/walking tracks. And usually they have 2 tracks. One's for walkers and one's for the runners. So the runners aren't getting fed up with coming across walkers all the time. They're in their own separate lane for that, which can be quite, yes, I know some runners that are like, oh, these walking people get in their way and everything else. And they have the aerobic equipment in the fitness center if you want to do it that way. Let's see what other activities. Some of them have boxing rings on there, kickboxing. There's aerobic classes, spin classes. There's all sorts of activities. Cruise lines are getting very active these days on things that you can do. Some of them even have roller skating in there. Some have ice skating. I'm trying to think of some of the other, and of course they've got the pools as well where you can go swimming too. If you are adults, you can go into like the sanctuary. They'll have some sort of retreat or sanctuary area which are adults only, and that's a nice place to go. Get up there first thing in the morning and just swim some laps if you want to. There's people that I've seen people doing that as well. But whatever your exercise routine is, you may be able to do the full exercise routine every day while on a cruise ship, or you may do a modified version of it. And then again, just watch what you eat. Yes, I know how tempting it is because you have unlimited food options. You can have unlimited drink options, but, just eat and drink responsibly. Don't go too much overboard. I know how easy it is to do that. I have my first cruise, I did that. I was like, this is fantastic, until I saw how much weight I'd put on the cruise. I was like, ew, I'm not doing that again. But as I've got more experience with cruises over the years, my very first cruise was in 2009. The last one I did was December 2018. So, it's, dang. Huh. Yeah, so during that time, I did, what am I up to? 21 cruises. And you get a lot of walking in on a cruise ship. You get a lot of walking. So, there's different ways that you can stay healthy on a cruise ship. Just make wise choices. That's it. But, the cruise lines will do whatever they can to tempt you to eat whatever you want to eat. They will also do what they can to tempt you to eat healthy as well. If you see something, you can ask for something to be grilled if you don't want it fried. I've seen people ask for that as well. So, just eat and drink responsibly while on a cruise ship, and you're going to be walking a lot anyway. Even when you get off the ship to do shore excursions, you usually have a walk from wherever you dock to wherever the shore excursion is going to pick you up from as well. And some of them, you got to walk down a long pier to get to the end, to get out of the secured area to where the shore excursions will pick you up from as well. So yeah, and one thing I love about the non-alcoholic drink package that I get is I get lots of bottled water. I mean, the water is safe to drink on a cruise ship anyway. And I usually take a water bottle with me that I can just refill up every day. But there's times you just feel like, that San Pellegrino, I like that with lemon and lime in it, and apple cider vinegar. But I can never find apple cider vinegar on a cruise ship, and I really don't want to take it on board with me because it's got to be kept in a glass jar. But, I can I've got my essential oils, so I can throw in a drop of lemon and a drop of lime in there and still shock my saliva glands and enjoy and that's my aperitif. And and whenever I'm on with a group, I always tell them, because I will pick a lounge to go and sit in before dinner. And usually if I'm on a Royal Caribbean ship, it's the Crown Lounge. And I say, if you ever want to if you're ready for dinner and it's not time to go to the dining room, but you want to sit somewhere, I says, you will always find me in the Crown Lounge. And I'll be up there having a mocktail. About the only time of the cruise I do have a mocktail is when I'm my pre-dinner aperitif. And I'll sit there and have that, and people watch out over the pool area and things like that. And groups have come up and sat with me. And we've actually had quite a little party going on. Then we all head down to the dining room together for our group dinner. So you can do a lot of fun with things like that on the cruise ship. Is arrange a meeting place. If you're with a group, arrange a meeting place for somewhere to meet before going to dinner in the evenings, where you can have a pre-dinner drink if you want to. And that sort of thing. And for those of you who purchase a bottle of wine and think, oh my gosh, I got to drink it, then no. You do not have to drink it. If you purchase a bottle of wine on a cruise ship, you do not have to drink it in one sitting. You can actually just have one glass an evening, and I have seen this done. And when you and they will actually recork the bottle for you, and they have your stateroom, your name and your stateroom attached to the bottle. And then when you come in the next evening, and I was on a Disney cruise when I saw this done, we came in the next evening for our dinner, and there was this woman's bottle of, is it red? Yeah, red wine sitting there on the table waiting for her. And they served her a glass, and they left it there till the end of the meal in case she wanted a second glass, but she was just doing one glass a night. And that thing lasted her the whole cruise, because she'll tell them what size glass she wanted and how much she wanted in the glass. And on a Disney ship, this is different, because they would actually move us to a different restaurant every night. So that we'd have dinner in one restaurant, and they go, now don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to be in such and such a restaurant. All of their restaurants on board the ships had the exact same layout. So your table was in the same place. It's just the theme of the restaurant had changed. And your wait staff moved with you. If you bought a bottle of wine, it moved with you, which actually astounded us when we got to the next restaurant the next evening. And they have different menus in each restaurant as well. And this woman's bottle of wine was sitting there waiting for her, and she's like, well, that's pretty impressive. So yeah, so on a Disney show, I don't know if they still do this, but back before all the global pause and everything else, every night you were in a different restaurant. Your table was in the same place in that restaurant, because the restaurants are the same sizes. They have the exact same layout for the tables. So whenever you walked in the door, you knew that our table would be over to the right here and about a third of the way along the restaurant, and that's where our table was. And we had the same wait staff with us every night as well. And they would just change their wait staff uniform to whatever the theme was for that evening of that particular restaurant. And we had a lot of fun. It was actually a really cool dining experience. And what surprised me is that not many people, because you would think, oh my gosh, if you're in a different restaurant every night, then people might get confused. But I will tell you this, after being on that Disney cruise, very few people, there was like just a handful, there was just very, very few people would forget what restaurant they were in that evening. And the cool part is that actually on your room key, it had listed the nights that you're in each restaurant, but it just had a number, it had the first letter of the restaurant. And it would have it listed across there, and you just had to work out what night of the cruise you were on, and then you could see, oh, it's a P, I got to go to the Pirates Cay tonight. It's it's so I've got to go to the Animator's Palette tonight. And so they could do it that way. But it was surprising, out of all the people we saw coming into the restaurant at our dining time, we looked around and you could, because you got to, everybody sitting in the same place, everybody sitting at the same tables every night, just a different restaurant. And so you got to see the familiar faces and everything else. And it may have been just a handful of people in that restaurant that would get confused which one they were supposed to be at, but most of them got to the right restaurants on the right evenings and everything else. And I'm like, this is really cool, because like I said, they just had the first letter of the restaurant on the bottom of the key, so you knew which restaurant you were in what night. And your wait staff would tell you the night before, don't forget, tomorrow night we're in Animator's Palette, or tomorrow night we're in Pirate Key, or tomorrow night we're in, I think it was Orion's. I'm trying to remember what the other third restaurant was, but there were 3 restaurants we rotated through, and people did not get confused. It was awesome. I thought that was very well done. But anyway, I'm out of here. Go have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Let us know some of the in the comments below, some of the tips that you have or things that you have found that you do when you're on a cruise ship that helps you not gain 1 to 2 pounds per day on a cruise. So what are some of the things, some of the hints and tips and things that you have that keep you healthy while on a cruise? So leave us in the comments below, and we will catch you guys tomorrow evening around 6 p.m. Pacific. Hey, Conera. Oh, hang on. No, tomorrow night. Hang on. One moment. Tomorrow night we're going to be a little later, because I actually have a coaching call at 5 p.m. Pacific. So we're going to be a little later tomorrow, probably more around 6:30-ish Pacific time. I just know that Zeffy's walk's going to be late tomorrow. She's already gone to bed. But have a super fantastic sparkling evening. Hey, Conera.